one day I was at the home by myself. Me and my old lady was in the house, and she went to work, and something came over me when I was in the house, and I said, well, I am tired. I am so tired. I am so tired of living this life. And I went into my room, and I got on my knees. And as I got on my knees, and I just cried out to God and said, God, I am tired of living this life. Yes, my name is Sylvester Williams. I am 47 years old, and I want to tell y'all today that my life story. At 3 months old, I was born blind, and I was born in Clewiston, Florida, and during that time of my struggle that I was born blind as a little baby, my mom didn't know my mom, but my mom had left me in Clewiston Hospital, and my mom had five kids, and during her time, her struggle, she was 14 when she had me, and me without a father. But I had family lived in Immokalee, and it was good that I had some family, because if I didn't have any family, I'd probably been adopted, and so during that time there, my aunt came and got me from the hospital. By me being a blind baby, nobody didn't want me as me being blind, because well, you ain't nothing because you can't do anything as you grow up. But then she took me in and raised me up, sent me to school, and still didn't even know my mom, didn't know my mom or my dad. So during that time, that one day my mom came to my aunt's house, and she told me, she said, there's your mom right there, that's your mama right there. Do I have to call her mom? Do I have to call her mom? Because she left five kids, because by me hearing the stories about that, and didn't know my brothers and sisters and nothing like that. I was the only kid that lived in Immokalee around my family. And then during the years of my being blind, and then as I growed up, and God gave me my sight back during that time, age 9. Kept going back to the doctor and stuff, to Miami, and going to the doctor, and people was reaching out to help me, to take me to the doctor, and got my sight back. I thank God for my sight back. And then through the years of me went to school in high school, and played football, and then not during the years that my eyesight started getting a little worse. So then I got hooked. During that time, I got hooked on drugs. Didn't know what drugs was about, but heard about marijuana. But then during the time, I went into and I see people going in there. I always want to experience things. So during that time, I went there, and I saw people in the club, and so I wanted to start going in there. But they saw me right back out the door. They say, Sylvester, you are too young to go come in here. So they saw me back out the door. Then after, I said, well, when I get out of high school, I'll be old enough to do what I want to do. And I went there and started going inside the club, and that's when I was introduced to cocaine. Never know what cocaine was about. I kept seeing people put it into their nose and stuff like that. But that's when I introduced it, because I was curious about this stuff. I was seeing them doing it. And when I saw them doing it, and I started doing it myself and put it to my nose, then this urgency came on, like, oh, wow, man, it's pretty good. This is pretty good. But it's only a 3 minutes high. And it constantly keeps you broke. Me working and working 2 jobs, working in the fields and working in the store. But if I didn't have these jobs, what could have happened to me? I could have probably been taking stuff or selling this and selling this here. But then later on through my life, I have been in church and got out of church, in church. But one day I had got sick and sicker and tired of living the life, living this life, this drug life, because a lot of people ask me, say, well, Sylvester, how did you get into church? You know, well, I didn't meet Christ at the church. I met Christ at my house where I messed up at. And one time I left here, but trying to run away from it. I went to Fort Myers and stayed in Fort Myers for 6 months. 6 months over there in Fort Myers. But the enemy was still there. I was trying to run away from the enemy. And so even that day I went to Fort Myers, the enemy was there too. So, and then the enemy just kept messing with my mind and talking to me and telling me, well, you can go right over there. The drugs are still over there. The drugs is over there. You ain't got to play with it. Just go over there. Go over there. It's over there. Just all you got to do is walk over there. That's how Satan played with your mind. So I said, well, no, I'm not going over there. I'm not going around. I'm going back in the house. So I went back in the house. But he did not leave me alone. He did not leave me alone. So I went back out the door again and went back over there to the end of the road. He kept saying, well, I don't know who you fooling. Who you fooling? Who you playing with? Just going over there and get what you need and going back to the house and be done with it. I said, no, I'm not. I'm not doing that. I'm not going over there. I'm not going there. So I just got tired of living this. I got tired. So I said, well, I'm going back to Immokkalee I'm going back to Immokkalee. During that time, I had a girlfriend, and she had never seen me did drugs because I always kept it away from her. And but the thing is that during that time, during that struggle there, I just say I went into my room and then I heard a horn, like somebody was blowing a horn outside. And when they was blowing the horn, I got up and I went outside and went outside. It wasn't nobody outside. Satan was playing with my mind. And I got up again. I heard the horn. When I heard the horn again, I go outside. Wasn't nobody outside. So I said, I am tired. I am so tired. So what I did, I got up. I said, well, I know how to do this. I'm going to go buy me an 8-ball. And I went across the street and I talked with one of my friends. And I said, you want to go half and half on an 8-ball? And I'm going to go. So she said, yeah, we'll go half and half. So, and when it got me a quarter Old English and when I met him, whatever. But something, as I went and got the 8-ball and went into his yard, something hit me, like somebody was pushing me. And what I did, I dropped the 8-ball of cocaine on the ground, and it got into the dirt. Now, what I want to do? I can't get it up because it's in the sand. So I had to give this guy back his money. I had to give his money back to him, give it back to him. And I told him, I said, man, I don't know, man. This feeling came over me that I'm talking about real, like somebody was pushing me and was pushing me. So it was this lady living across the street, and she always watched me all the time when I go over there. So one day she told me, she said, Sylvester, God has a hand on you. I said, a hand on me? He had a hand on me? I said, well, why he have a hand on me? Because I ain't nobody, you know. But during the times that I was doing drugs, I always, I know him, but I know him because by me hearing it and by going to funerals and stuff like that, but not knowing who he really was and what he does. But the years started passing by, and then one day I was at the home by myself, me and my Me and my old lady was in the house, and she went to work, and something came over me when I was in the house, and I said, well, I am tired. I am so tired. I am so tired of living this life. And I went into my room, and I got on my knees. And as I got on my knees, and I just cried out to God and said, God, I am tired of living this life. And this light glow came through the windows. And it was like the sun was shining in my room. And I said, God, I am tired of living this life here. I don't want to live this life no more like this. I want to live for you. I want to live for you. I want to be somebody that you call to be a servant or be working for you. And when I told him, and I confessed to him all my struggles. But then doing that, I had gave my life in my house. And a lot of people say, why you did that? No, I didn't never do it in the church. I did it where I messed up at. But then over the struggles, over the life that I have lived, I have came to be a servant for him. I served for him for 18 years. And it has been a blessing to me. But even being on the Lord's side, I still had some struggles. I had some struggles. I had some trials and tribulations. But even being on the Lord's side, I had lost sight in my right eye because of being disobedient. One thing, being so disobedient and not doing what I really supposed to do, because drugs really, I'm telling you, drugs will take you down. They will take you down. So and then even they take you down, then they keep you without any money in your pocket, and you need Jesus. You need Jesus all the way. And I telling you that God is the answer for all things in all situations, that he can bring you through it. But even during that time, even I know God, I still have some struggles in my life. I lost in my right eye. I lost sight. I was diagnosed as an early age, as a baby at 3 months old. I was born with glaucoma, and God gave my sight back to me. Gave my sight back. But as the years passed by, my sight was leaving me. And in my right eye, I'm blind in my right eye, and finna get ready to have surgery. The glaucoma now is in both eyes, so they consider me as blind. But I thank God that I still have one eye. Able to see. I'm gonna have surgery in a couple of months, in May 23rd. So I'm asking y'all to keep me in your prayers. The one that knows prayer, keep me in your prayers. And I hope this video that will help somebody to come to Christ, to know that God is the answer to all situations through trials and tribulations, because we're gonna go through these things. And I hope this video will help everyone all over the world. I just thank you, and God bless you. But I want to go back a little bit. When I first started knowing Christ and getting into church, I was a Baptist once upon a time. I was a Baptist, and during that time, God had just really had did some work in my life and have elevated me, and me as being one of his servants, and being one of his servants in Immokalee, doing outreach ministry here in Immokalee. And I just thank God for how he just brought me to Pastor Dorothy, a woman of God, on this corner of 401 South 2nd Street on Immokalee, Florida. And a woman of God have been so great for my family, and even mentored myself. She plays a real big part of my life. She's my mother in the Lord, and also she's a good mentor to everyone that comes. I always tell her all the time. I say, Pastor, this is beyond a church. This is a hospital. This is a hospital where people are very wounded, discouraged, need some help. This is a hospital. And just the other day, I told her that her back door is the emergency room, because sometimes people don't even want to come through the front door. They need special help. Whoa, they need special help. Because when they go to the back door, it got the emergency over the door. You can't see it, but you can see it in the spiritual. It's an emergency door that you come in, and she's coming there with all her stuff, gown, and ready to receive you as you is, as you wounded, discouraged, or whatever. We have myself being an assistant to her. We have fed many people at the back door. Have counseled a lot of people, have fed them through just a bowl of soup, and people have came here very hurt, discouraged, needed somebody to talk to, need somebody to hug, or and not so much as you talking, but listening ear, because we have a lot of them that want to just you to listen or what they have to say. And I just thank God for being a part with her in this ministry. We just came back for dropping a mission load off, and how God just turned this house of prayer into a warehouse, and so much food we just sharing to different other organizations or other churches that is a part. We are reaching out to the homeless. I have been on a couple of trips down in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, where people don't even have a place to stay. They're making tents, making boxes. They're using grocery buggies to put their stuff inside of them. And I just thank God for He placing me here at the House of Prayer, up under the leadership of Dorothy Washington and all the other members that are here. We just come together and do the work of the Lord. And I just thank God for being with her, and what she's doing in this ministry, what she's going to continue doing in this ministry. And I'm looking for other things in this ministry to blossom. I'm looking for, we own this whole block, this whole section right here, because it's work to be done in Immokalee. We have a lot of people here and still need houses, need a place to stay, and need a lot of finance here in Immokalee, because you have people still hurting from the storm that we had here. A couple of months ago, we had the hurricane came through here and tore a lot of houses up and leaking houses and stuff. But I thank God with that this is place here, a house of prayer is on this corner where we can be used and working for the kingdom of God, because that's what we all here for, to work in the vineyard for the kingdom of God. And I just want to say thank you, and God bless you, and keep House of Prayer of the Living God and Pastor Dorothy Washington in prayer.
Hello, my name is Arthur Burney, and I'm associated with the House of Prayer. We hand out stuff, get to the community, and I get a little quick story that I need to tell you about. A couple of days ago, I had a trailer load of stuff, and I went to this trailer park over there on Immokalee Drive, and the people there, they appreciated, they didn't look at no dates, they needed the food, and they just took it from us, and I got rid of a trailer load in like 45 minutes, and it's a blessing that I'm able to do such thing like that,